You're listening to Unchurned, brought to you by the Gainsight Podcast Network.
She was like, I know how I want to use AI to manage my business as a CSM.
Wow.
And we were like, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And so
Fascinating.
so we're looking for people who are coming with that kind of mindset because we think that they can help transform the team from inside.
I am Jenny Calvert, host of Unchurned, coming at you live from Pulse Europe in Dublin, and I am super excited to welcome my guest, Yvette Smith. Yvette,
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so glad to be here.
So Eastern US people that made the trek to you a little further, coming all the way from LA.
Yeah, I was in LA
Goodness.
last week,
Yeah.
but
And understand it was your on-site, right? Kickoff.
it was our sales kickoff.
Okay.
And so it was a very big week and a little bit of a very long flight. So
Yeah, well,
we're
I
glad to
definitely
be
want to
here.
hear more about your kickoff
Yeah.
because we're a little ahead of, the beginning of the year, people. So you might have
Yes.
some tips and tricks. But before we get started, I would love for you to tell the listeners who you are, what you do, how you got into this world. Give us the story.
Well, thank you. I'm just so honored to be here and so excited to share our story. And I've been doing customer success for a little while. I was thinking about that as we were preparing for this. It's been over almost about 15 years. So
Love it.
I started in kind of an untraditional way into customer success. So I spent 17 years at IBM and then went to Xerox to run the managed services business for the US.
Okay.
And much like our hardware and SaaS customers are going through commercial model changes and revenue doesn't come until outcomes are delivered, we have that same situation at Xerox.
Oh, sure.
We moved from selling devices and printers and toner to selling print and copy by the click. And so if somebody didn't print and people weren't making copies, we didn't get paid. And so it was great. There were salespeople who were out, they were selling all these services packages, and then no revenue. So a major bit of panic.
Yeah.
The typical
I'd
panic
imagine.
that starts a customer
Where's
success
the money?
organization. Yeah,
Jerry Maguire moment.
exactly. Right, that's how most customer success organizations get started.
Yeah.
And we transformed our field organization from a team of people who were out just doing managed services for our customers to one that was having conversations with the business users and driving workflows to the devices. And
So literally the inception of the space.
yeah, it really was. It really was. We didn't call it customer success, but that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
And then I moved on to Microsoft, where in the early days of Azure, and same kind of thing, lots of big Azure commits. Everybody was really excited. And then where's the revenue? And at the time when I went there to lead support. And we realized we had a very large team, about 14,000 people around the world, who were out on-prem with customers, and we could transform them from, again, just helping customers in kind of a support mechanism to really helping them leverage and utilize the platform and
that transformation from helping them do stuff to actually driving the outcomes that they care about in their business.
Exactly. And so took our TAMs at the time and transformed them into CSMs and CSAs, and again, re-energize the customer success function. So that was a big transformation. And then I came to F5, where I am today.
Yeah.
And the team there had kind of through the first phase of getting customer success set up. But then over the past 5 years, along with some various roles that I've had, helped really bring the company forward in the thinking, because F5 is a company that started predominantly with hardware, one product, and has acquired about 5 SaaS companies. Is having
single product to multi-product.
Yes.
Transformation for Yvette yet again.
Another transformation.
No
kind of my
wonder
thing.
they brought you in.
Yeah, and it's been wonderful. I mean, helping the company think past one product to multiple products, hardware to software and SaaS, and so it's been a great evolution.
Revenue along for the ride, of course.
And now we're moving into not just retention but expansion, and really some of the thinking we've been talking about here about how does retention, expansion, and growth coming through customer success be a core part of how the company thinks about.
Such an important and predominant conversation these days. The return to revenue, as we think of it, return to outcomes.
Yes.
The origination of success, as you've told us through your story.
Yes.
We're back full circle. Curious about another transformation. It's going to be obviously the theme of our chat today. We also are in the agentic era.
Oh my gosh.
So not only is there a business transformation within F5 that you're working on with the team, is we've got to start to think about what happens with AI.
Yeah, I really think about this. We've transformed processes. We transformed tools. We transformed some of our thinking. This is really transforming our approach to delivering outcomes, right? And it's really transforming, the agentic, space that we're in right now. One is so exciting because what it's going to do is it's going to enable our team members to do even more when it comes to delivering outcomes for our customers. Getting rid of all of the toil, getting rid of things that somebody else, whether they're a human or some, artificial intelligence can do, and letting them spend the deep, rich time with customers, understanding their business.
CS has been craving the elimination of how much work is on our plates to really deliver for customers. And I'm hearing the excitement around how agentic can actually make that possible for our team.
Huge excitement, because we are the catch-alls, right? Because we're spending more time with customers than most anybody else in the organization.
Frontline of the business, really.
Customer facing, getting the feedback. I mean, we fill in gaps, some of which we probably don't need to fill in, right? And so it's exciting to be able to see the possibility of agentic being able to take care of a lot of that.
Yeah.
And we can use the richness of our people who know our customers really well to drive expansion and growth and help them realize more value from the investments they're making with all of our companies.
I kind of get back again to the root of the role.
To the core. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you're thinking about your investments in terms of AI and agentic moving into next year, although it's next year for your business.
Yeah, it's okay.
What's that look like for you?
100% of our investments are focused around AI.
Wow.
We're not investing in additional people. We are investing in our people, but it is around helping them be more effective in using AI to run their business. It's about helping, feed their curiosity about the technology. It's about helping them develop the different skills that they're going to need to be able to operate alongside an artificial intelligent agent.
Sure.
But it's also about experimentation, right?
How have your talent development plans then shifted? You mentioned some of these things, making sure, that we're pulling through the curiosity and kind of the consultative nature of the role. How does that shift how you are actually developing and empowering your talent?
So it's super interesting. What we've decided to do, which now it will be a little bit of a having a spy in the room that everybody knows about, but what we've decided to do is really target a couple of new hires who come with a very different profile. And so we were actually out, Erica Cohen, who leads customer success for me, was out, and we were out, and a young woman sat down at our breakfast table, and she was like, I've just finished my master's in data science, and I wanna go into customer success. We're like, what?
That's data science to CS. That's not a transition.
We're like perked our ears right away. We were all into it.
Yeah.
And she was like, I've, developed these agents, and I've developed this LLM, and I'm using this, and I'm using that. We literally could barely follow the conversation.
Offer, table.
Yeah, literally. I was like, Erica, offer now. Like, let's get this figured out. And it was really like, she was like, I know how I want to use AI to manage my business as a CSM.
Wow.
And we were like, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And so
so
we're looking for people who are coming with that kind of mindset because we think that they can help transform the team from inside.
Kind of that fresh perspective and energy, right? Like I'm sure we've heard about, people coming from service-based industries, whether it be servers at restaurants or teachers, right? That was our big transformation in this space. And now it's really evolving into masters in data science, knowing how the LLMs and the AIs actually work and bringing that insight to actually fuel and drive the business team.
So we believe that kind of skill will help us then, change the team. I think, as I was just telling our team, because we're here, we had a team offsite up in Cork as well, where we have a good sized CSM team, and the whole European team, and it's like, the one thing I want you to do is be more curious. I mean, like every day, I need you to be leaning into this and figuring out what are the things that AI can help you do better. Yeah. Like quit worrying, and they're not worried, but quit worrying about like it replacing your job.
Yeah.
More worry about how it's going to make you better at your job.
Have you seen that shift a lot? I think last year was kind of the year of worry.
Yes.
And then it's like we started playing and tinkering, and more people are sharing their stories of how it really has unlocked their teams. Yes. You're seeing that energy in your team.
I am. And part of it is because we're encouraging them to hear the stories around the industry, right? So it's not enough for me to tell them your job's going to be fine. They're like, well, yeah, right.
Yeah.
But to hear how agentic has helped other CSMs and other organizations be more effective on behalf of our customers. They're like, oh, I can see that.
That sounds good.
I can see that, and that can help me. Yeah.
How are you structuring teams to really like unlock what's possible with AI as well? I'm hearing some specialized hires, perhaps.
Yes.
We've got a legacy team.
Yes.
So how are you thinking about that?
So I'm really starting with our leaders and getting them really educated so that they can see the art of the possible. I think one of the challenges with how fast AI is moving is that it's hard to imagine the art of the possible. If you kind of check in this space once a quarter, right? This is not that thing. Like, this is every day.
Every day evolving.
You have to evolve. So we really are focused on our managers and our leaders, and then we are putting some things in place. So I have moved one of our strong leaders into a space where he is totally focused on data analytics and AI, right? So we had that spread out across both our renewals and customer success teams.
Now you kind of
and we've brought it together,
so to speak.
Yeah, pretty much.
Human agent, but
yes, and brought together that team. We've invested in additional data analysts, which we didn't have. We've invested in some people who are actually building AI on the business side.
Wow.
So one of the things that, again, we've learned is that this has got to be business driven. And I think this is exactly what, we are hearing here, is that you can wait for your IT team to do it, but they're never going to drive it in the way that you need.
Sure.
And so it's on us.
That context that you're speaking of, right, is the stories within the business. That's a really critical piece, is how do we get more curious and better understanding of those so that we can leverage all of these tools and teams in-house.
Right. And we need to get excited. We're the ones who can get excited about use cases that really are going to deliver, ROI that is going to be at the C-level and that the board is going to care about. And those are the things that are going to get investments. So that's what we're always trying to drive.
So how amazing getting the team to start thinking about what's possible. They have that really deep insight and understanding.
Yes.
And then being able to go execute against it. Tremendous. What are some primary use cases you're tackling around AI right now?
Yeah. So I think there's a couple. One that I always view our customer success team as the first and foremost feedback loop to our product groups. And so with the handful of products we have, we need that feedback in a much richer way to be able to then improve our products and drive retention and help understand what is the journey our customers are going to go on to the most sticky features and most sticky capabilities.
And as you expanded to multi-product, probably 10 times more important.
Exactly. Sure. So taking, being able to harvest the unstructured data that comes from our emails, our calls, whether it's sales, our CS team, our renewals team, anybody, whether it's, and support, of course, and being able to synthesize that back against our product plans.
Silo that feedback, I'm sure. The opportunity to not have it live in its own respective corners where CS is like, hey.
Right. Well, and we're part of, we had our own silo, right? And so, but being the curator of that, to be able to go back to the customer team, to the product teams and align that against their product plans and say, okay, we think we see where this aligns to product plans you already have in place. But these 5 things we're not seeing. So, really bringing that insight back. So that will be really helpful. So it's one of the first use cases we want to use around unstructured data.
And question on that front though, how open is your product organization then to that influence that comes through those insights?
We are really lucky. They are very open to it. What we do with them, we have several different product groups, but we align with them on the insights we're bringing back and then the ones they're going to do something about. And that's really important from an accountability standpoint, because we can say, go fix this, go fix that, go fix this. And if you do that, we'll see X amount of GRR or NRR.
Tie it back to the business.
Tie it back to the business results. But if they choose not to, that still shows the impact we're choosing intentionally not to have.
I love that word, that we're choosing.
Well, and I think it's important as a company, right?
Sure.
Because when
we're
you
not throwing darts anymore, you've got the insights and the data, and AI is allowing that to be a real thing.
Make it much richer.
Right?
We can
do it anymore. Right? Here it is. Here's the data. Here's exactly.
It's much richer with the data.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
You were mentioning another use case.
So we're doing all the basic things of trying to drive understanding around predictive retention, predictive expansion.
What are the signals? What are the risk markers?
Right.
Yeah.
And bringing actually many more signals. So I think, as I looked around the company, I said, what are all the signals that are happening in all the different silos that if we could aggregate up, we could get a much richer understanding of the engagement of our customers, where they really are, and then tie it back to opportunity. And we identified like 175 signals. And that was just me one night.
Just this brainstorm.
Writing it all out, right? Like, are they getting are they using education? Are they getting certifications? Are they attending our events? I mean, and so we're going to start pulling all of those while we continue to enrich the telemetry coming from our products, but not waiting for that, right? Because that can become a waiting game that ends up with
that not having to wait keeps coming forward too.
Yes.
Right. Where even here at Bulls, we're hearing you don't have to sit back and wait for your teams to do this for you.
No.
In fact, there's a lot of reasons why you shouldn't do that.
Right. Well, and it's with the speed that it's moving. One of my concerns is that because you can say, okay, I'm going to go do this today, and you get started, and by next week there's something like just slightly cooler, and then you're going, oh wait, should I stop doing this and go do that? And then the third week you spend a couple days, and then there's something else, and so if you don't just get going, right, you could spend all of your time getting ready to get going.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing that we've just said this year. It's like, it may be wrong, it may be right, it may be good, it may not be. I don't know, we'll figure it out, but we won't know until we actually get going.
That kind of permission to get started, to find, I guess, play your way into it in some ways.
Yes.
Bringing back some of that curiosity, that innovation, that what might be possible you mentioned. And just starting. And
the willingness to fail fast and make adjustments. And I think that's the thing that we're learning, whether we like it or not, with this whole AI space, and especially in agentic, is it's not going to be right the first time, and you have to be okay.
Yeah.
I was in a session.
That's always been a part of your culture at F5.
No.
So there's a cultural transformation happening here.
It is a cultural transformation, and part of that is because we had a product that had a very, very long product life cycle, right? Big IP had a very long product cycle. Customers bought them and kept them for years and years and years and years and years. And so the pivot to a SaaS environment where you're you got that much faster product life cycle is a whole cultural shift for us.
Wow.
Yeah. It's exciting though.
Wow.
It's really exciting.
It's a good thing they have a tremendous change leader like you at the helm.
It's fun.
So let's talk renewals.
Yes.
All right. We talked about those risk signals, obviously, to be able to fuel and drive retention. Yes. I know renewals are in your remit.
Yes.
It's the beginning of the year for you.
Yes.
What is kind of the messaging and the mantras to your team to ensure that the next renewal cycle is success? You're hitting your GRR and NR targets.
Yeah. So it's really less, but I'll tell you a little bit about what we're doing now, but what we've done over the last year to get us here, right?
Okay.
And so, we brought together our customer success and renewals teams because, again, we had them in silos and the signals were not aligned, right? And so over the last year, we really brought that together to be able to identify faster and earlier where risk is, and then being able to try and swarm around that to be able to...
And now focusing on layering AI on top of it.
Right.
And we're building the machine.
We will. I mean, that's the goal, right? Is to be able to leverage technology again. So we're still kind of doing it like very, brute force right now. But that is what we did in preparation for this year. The other thing that we've done, we started this year, is we've pulled our renewals team to engage earlier.
Okay.
So we have a lot of 1-year contracts. They were engaging kind of a typical, 100-day cycle. I'm like, man, you got to engage way earlier and start doing some light nurture motions especially where we don't have customer success. We've got a very long tail and we work through. We have distribution and channel, a tremendous amount. So kind of bringing that whole team to the point where we're having conversations about driving adoption and expansion. And so that has been a big part. Yeah. The other thing, which may sound a little odd, is we have moved our renewals team off of the long tail this year.
Okay.
And we have about 38% of our volume generates about 2% of our bookings. So we took them off of that to make capacity for the earlier engagement in the nurture motion, but also to force the discussion about automation.
Okay.
Right. So in the absence of having automation, which we've been asking for and looking for, we've now got a couple of centralized people who are just kind of working those quotes with the channel, but really demonstrating that we can standardize the process. And then, while we're waiting for our core system automation, we've got teams who are innovating around agents and starting to automate some parts of this.
Like we talked about, you can treat every customer like your best customer, as Chuck said this morning.
That's it. And so, we were talking about this just, with that thinking, it's like, maybe this is the place we have an agent who can be the end-to-end, driving adoption, consumption, and renewal. Right, because again, on the low end,
capacity limits gone.
Right, capacity limits
all
are
the
gone.
Data context built.
Right, and it's more the touch than they're getting today. And with the agent, we can also work through the through and with the channel. Really so we're really excited about that.
Just things we've never been able to do.
Exactly,
are all becoming possible. It sounds like you all have been investing and continue to invest to make sure you're set up for success there.
We really
expand the value of your team, your human teams.
Yes.
And leveraging those agents to reach those places that were really inefficient or unreachable before.
Exactly. I mean, renewals are non-events when a customer is really clear about the value that they are getting from, the investment they've made. And that is like, the mantra that I keep saying to our team is, we are the customer value realization engine of this company. And if we're doing that, then renewals are no big deal. Just like on things that we like at home, we don't.
The retention becomes the outcome of all of the inputs of our work. That's tremendous. Okay, Yvette, I could sit and talk to you for hours. What are you most excited about?
Oh, that's a big question, because this is after being in this industry for over 35 years, right? This is a incredibly exciting time, right? And so
you can feel it, like walking around here even.
Right, the energy. And so I think, the thing that I'm really excited about is getting our teams this excited about the possibility of being better on behalf of our customers every day in partnership with AI. Right. And I think if we can keep that approach and that attitude, we will accelerate. If we are having to pull people along, if we're having to pull leadership along, it's going to be slow. Right. Yeah. But if we can be leading and people are seeing that we are that they are as excited about making this happen as we are, I think it's a tremendous opportunity. So I'm excited about the potential. I'm excited about the potential for our customers. I'm excited about the rate of change and the fact that what we'll be talking about this time next year, we probably won't even have conceived.
We're going to meet up again and we're going to have another conversation.
We should. Because the things that we are going to be doing, we're going to be did we even know that was possible this time last year? I mean, I think that's what's super exciting.
The opportunity to, I think, play and innovate in the space is, I think, what CS has needed, right? We went through a few years where engagement was down, people are leaving the field, and to be able to say, hey, we no longer have to just focus on all of the doing. Right. But really leaning into the curiosity, the relationship development, the outcomes, the value realization, all of the things that are the staple of CS, right? That you saw as you grew up in the field, really.
Really? No, I mean, CS is it is the core to what gets me energized, right? Solving customer problems, helping customers realize value. I mean, that's what I've loved doing for my whole career. And this is such the sweet spot. And then we've heard, this is our time, I think, with leveraging this capability. So
really, it sounds like the teams are getting bought in.
Yes.
Everything's coming together really well. Any last thoughts that you want to share with listeners or the audience about what you're working on or anything around all of your experience in change management? Any just kind of words of wisdom or advice you'd share?
Yeah, the biggest thing I would say right now is just get started. Right? I mean, that is it, because you can spend forever trying to figure out the perfect use case, building the perfect ROI. And what's awesome about this is it's democratized. So there's little things you can do, there's big things you can do. I think we have to do both, right? So as leaders, we have to think about the, Titanic shift kind of use cases. But as individuals, we can think about the small use cases and, that we haven't even envisioned could be. And then take on, quite frankly, the tough stuff. Right? Because honestly, the tough stuff isn't any harder than the easy stuff at this point. Right? I mean, it's kind of, it's all can be
solving into the unknown a little bit.
Right. Lean out into things that it's okay, that can't possibly be done. Well, in 2 weeks, somebody will figure it out and you'll be ready to go. So a lot of it's building foundation and getting ready to go. So that would be, it's just get going.
Started. And it leads me to one more question.
Yeah.
How do you get buy-in? Buy-in and change is so important.
Yeah.
We're seeing the shift. You mentioned your team just being around it and hearing it and seeing that it's not coming for your jobs.
Yeah.
We've solved that.
Yeah.
How do you get them bought in and really excited?
I think, we're figuring it out, right? I think right now they're excited about the possibility. I think the thing that we're leaning into is that we're investing in them as part of this. So making it not just about, everything that's going to be done unto them, but everything that's going to be done with and through them so that they are even better at
continue to grow.
Their careers grow. Yeah. They're more effective at taking care of the customers they love. They're more effective at feeding insight back into the company that they love. So, making it about enriching their capability instead of putting a whole bunch of stuff into something that is not going to be they don't view as helping them. So I think that's the biggest
Showing
thing.
the investment as them as professionals and individuals.
Yes.
And what's possible for the business.
Right.
It's magic.
Right.
It's magic. But it's been so amazing sitting with you.
Thank you.
Your insights, your experience, your wealth of experience in the space of change, as you've shared with your experience at Xerox and Microsoft and now at F5. So excited that you were here. Cannot wait to talk to you next year.
Yes.
See where we are.
That'll be great.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for letting us share a story.
You bet.
All right,
Thank
take care.
you.